Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We are heading back into r/AmITheDevil, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. Also, if you guys would like to save 10% on your next order of gamer subs, use code Tommy at checkout, or click the link down below. It'll automatically apply the discount to your transaction, and it helps support the channel. Thank you. I lost my son 7 years ago. I don't really miss him. Around 13 years ago, I got my then-girlfriend pregnant. I silently wanted her to get the deletus. She was super excited to have a kid, and I didn't want to bring it up, so I just accepted that I was starting life a little early. I originally had no plans to even think about parenthood until my mid-30s. Anyways, we have a baby, move in together, get married, all of the things that you do in life. I got a job at a car dealership for the big money, and it went very well. I made a lot. I did my absolute best to support everyone, and tried to be the best dad ever, really just faking it, honestly. I still wasn't there at all mentally, but I wanted him to have a great childhood, and despite feeling super awkward and feeling like I was in person, did everything I could. 5 years in, I get a call while at work with my wife sobbing and freaking out, saying that my son was hit by a car and in the hospital. Turned out it was way worse than I thought, because when I arrived, he was gone. I remember that moment. It was kind of a blur, but buried under all of that was some absolutely sickening feeling of release that I did my absolute best to push away. Like a giant weight was lifted off of my shoulders. At this point, I've just accepted it. The wife and I broke it off a little less than a year later. No alimony or anything, since she was working full-time too. We sold the house and split everything, and that was that. I suddenly had way more money than I knew what to do with working the sales job, and had never felt so free. I quit after a few more years of it with more money in the bank than I knew what to do with. Bought a tiny little 1,000-square-foot house on a lake, and have been living an insanely fun life as a bachelor. I travel every few months, fish, kayak, hike, and joined an online group of fit people with a bunch of women I bring on as travel buddies who want no long-term things at all. Deep down, though, I feel guilty that everything is so rosy and perfect now. My subconscious looks back at the parenthood portion of my life as jail time, and I hate that so much. Like I was trapped and now I'm free. Kids, of course, have completely gone out of the window. I have no interest at all in that now that I'm reaching my late 30s, and the wife still calls me up crying sometimes that I have to pretend like I'm not living my dream life now, cause she's completely miserable. She remarried once, but it didn't work out. She really wants kids. Always has. I hope that she can find someone who isn't a selfish a-hole like I am, but man, am I just so relieved my life didn't go that route. Edit, for those that brought it up a bunch, no, I'm not a psychopath. Believe me, this is something that I asked in therapy. People are complex. My dog, for example, is everything. I would protect him with my life. Same with my parents and siblings. Even my ex, she's kind of my best friend at the end of the day, even if we live apart now. Every time I'm in town, I'm excited to visit her. I just really dislike kids. I have no interest in having one and don't like interacting with them. The parent gene everyone has is non-existent to me. I never had the drive to protect or nurture him, but did my best to do it anyway. I gave him my best life that I could over those years, since that was my duty. The little dude got to experience just about every moment offered in the USA. Car jobs don't get a lot of off time, but every time I did get a time off, it was a car trip or a flight to somewhere cool. That's one thing I love doing for everyone, dragging them to places that I think are neat. Not feeling any type of resentment or regret that something bad happened to your kid. Yeah, that's not really making much sense. And honestly, a lot of the story just kind of feels like it's made up and everything because, let's be honest, there is no way in hell in this economy you are retiring in your 30s selling cars. Not only that, living on a riverside cottage or cabin or whatever it is. So yeah, definitely the devil, because making up stories like this, not cool. Am I the devil for setting boundaries and refusing to drive to say hi to my partner's ex at a front door? I, 30F, am with someone, 36M, and have been for 2 years. He has 2 kids from a previous relationship. I have met these children a handful of times, and they have been to my house, where me and my partner live together, on a few occasions. We have been taking things slow with the kids. My partner's ex, 36F, doesn't want the kids to stay overnight at my house without her meeting me first. As far as I understand, she doesn't want to ask me any questions. Just wants to see me and say hi on the doorstep, according to my partner. I wouldn't be allowed in the house. Neither me or my partner mind about them staying around if we haven't met. This is very much her request. To be honest, I'm not sure that I see the point. We have spoken on the phone before, and I don't understand what she will get out of seeing me and saying hi, but I'm happy to meet her anyway. My partner is asking me to go with them, to go pick up the kids to their front door, and to say hi. I have no doubt that he'll go inside, and it'll be me awkwardly standing at the door. I don't want to put myself in a situation that I'm uncomfortable with, and I don't feel like going to her house is a good idea. Plus, this is her desire, not mine, and so I feel like she should have to make some effort. I have said to him that I would feel more comfortable meeting halfway, in a neutral territory rather than at her front door. She doesn't want to do that, and she also refuses to drop them off at my house to meet me here. It's not a fair distance between her house, 30 to 40 minutes, but I would have to drive as my partner only drives a van with 3 seats, e.g. we couldn't fit all 4 of us in this van to drive back. He isn't insured on my car. I feel like my partner is putting his ex's desires above mine, and is essentially just saying that I should do this for him. I have offered several other alternatives, but he doesn't want to present to her as he says it'll cause an argument. So, am I the devil for setting boundaries and refusing to drive to meet her and say hi at her front door? Edit. There's a lot of people saying that he's a deadbeat dad. I just want to clarify that he has his kids overnight a lot, but just not at my house. That's been the arrangement up until now, as his ex has refused to let me even see the kids, let alone them stay around. Edit. A thank you to everyone who shared their thoughts and opinions. Genuinely been great to hear from so many different people in different circumstances. It really helped me reflect. And since the post, I have offered to meet up for coffee with her and get to know each other, and she has sadly flat out refused. She has said that she only wants to see me for 2 seconds and say hi, then never have any contact ever again. I expect that she's saying that out of anger, as we will need to be in each other's lives in some capacity for the kids. She has been very nasty about me previously to my partner, calling me names and making comments about my appearance. I didn't share this detail, but after reading comments, I realize now it's probably fueling my anxiety about going to her doorstep. I honestly don't know why she hates me so much. I've never done anything to her, but I can't control how she feels. After much consideration and reading everyone's comments, I have spoken to my partner and shared how I feel. He has agreed to try again and make the meeting on a neutral territory and I've suggested a park near her house to make things easier for her. We shall see what she says. If she continues to flat out disagree, then I will take the advice and go and say hi at her front door. Also, to clarify, I absolutely have never thought that her wanting to meet me is unreasonable. In fact, I've advocated for it for ages with little success. I've always said that I'm perfectly happy to, just wanted it to be somewhere neutral. This just sounds like you're trying to be dramatic for the sake of being dramatic and making a mountain out of a molehill here. At the beginning, this was all about the kids staying overnight at your house. They wanted to make sure that they met you because, I mean, they don't know you before, but their kids are staying over at your house. That might be something to consider, would be an important thing to know. Would I be the a-hole for uninviting my brother because he is trying to ruin my father's funeral? I will try to keep this short, but first of all, for context, I have 3 younger siblings, 2 brothers, Andrew and Ben, and 1 sister, Claire. When we were younger, my father discovered Ben was homosexual. He was enraged and probably would have disowned Ben on the spot if it was not for the intervention of our mother. Dad and Ben never reconciled. And Dad did everything in his power to make Ben as uncomfortable as possible. Us siblings stayed close, but eventually Ben could not take the constant torment anymore and moved out. Claire followed, but for career reasons. Andrew and I stayed in our hometown. Dad died of the beer virus complication a few days ago. As the eldest son of the family, it became my responsibility to prepare the funeral. He was a prominent member of the local community, so attendance will be high. Now we come to the main issue. Ben wanted to give a eulogy, and sent me a draft of his speech. Unsurprisingly, the contents were not flattering, and I rejected him on the spot. He got really angry, and told me that this was his best chance to expose Dad's hypocrisy, especially since he had the image of a good family man. He wanted everyone to know how much torment that he suffered at the hands of our father. Now, I love Ben unconditionally. He's my younger brother, and we are not a lot of things that I would not do for him. However, this is one of them. It is simply not appropriate to speak ill of the dead at their own funeral, which is supposed to be a celebration of their life. For all his ugly, hideous flaws, Dad was a complicated person, and focusing the entire funeral on his relationship with one person is too much. There is also the fact that letting him do such of a eulogy will probably cause a massive fallout in the community. Ben will not have to deal with the consequences because he lives in another state, but Andrew and I will be left picking up the pieces. Claire is on Ben's side for this one, while Andrew is on mine. I want to stress that I am not trying to cover for my father, or what he did to Ben, but there is a time and place for such things, and a funeral is not it. Ben eventually backed down, but his husband has tipped me off that Ben is still preparing to cause trouble. I really do not want to do this, but it seems to me that uninviting my brother from the funeral is the only choice. Would I be the a-hole if I did so? For those asking why I would even want to honor such a horrible man in the first place, it's complicated. Dad was a great father until the incident, which happened when I was in college. It's not easy being torn between 2 people you love, and even though I can say that I did not hesitate to choose Ben, Dad was still the person that I grew up admiring and loving. I'm still sorting my own feelings out and trying to reconcile the loving father that raised me and my siblings with the man who threw away everything for his petty prejudices. For those asking about the fallout, it has to do with the town's local politics. That's all I'm going to say. Going to do the last few clarifications here because people are making a lot of assumptions. No, we did not cover up this. All four of us siblings have been clear to our friends and family why we moved out of the family house, and my mother has also made it clear why she and my late father were estranged, even if we did not go out of our way to air the family's dirty laundry. Ben has also made it clear that he does not resent any of us besides our father, and us falling out would just be what our dad would have wanted. I might have understand a bit when I referred to the eulogy draft as unflattering. It was vulgar, vile, and definitely not appropriate for a funeral. Even if I had agreed with Ben's plan, there was no chance that I would have approved that the eulogy would have reflected badly on him, and not my father. I am not going to ask Ben to keep this a secret. He is free to tell everyone that he likes, on Facebook, the local obituary, etc. I just think that at the funeral is not the appropriate time, and especially not through a eulogy. But with that, that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!